We are live.
हाँ जी मैम।
Hello, everyone. Once again, welcome back to a fantabulous webinar by Navars Edutech. Myself, Praveen Suravanshi, Head of Product Delivery at Navars. And with me today, we have the astronomy photography expert, astrophotography expert, and who is also going to take you live journey of the moon today. Okay, Ashish, joining from Hyderabad. Hello, Ashish.
Hello, a big hello to everyone out there.
And we have Priyadarshan sir joining from Coimbatore. Hello, Priyadarshan. How is everything going on there?
Yes, sir. Everything is going good, and here we are observing the Saturn and also the moon. Gladly, we have Saturn also on the sky.
Okay, that's great. So we have a bonanza today, right? Along with the moon, we got Saturn as well as Jupiter today. If you're wondering, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So and we
Yes.
have our educators as well as students joining from Delhi. Hello, Shantanu.
Hello, sir. How are you?
All good. How everything is going on there?
The students are observing the moon right now. So we have used the Dobsonian mount and the reflector telescope, and the students are observing the moon right now. So a lot of people are there. You can see.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
So as you can hear, we are having, wow, the live view from across India. Actually, we have space labs across India. You can see that, from Delhi, from Coimbatore, as well as we are going to have live feed from Chennai in few minutes. Okay. So apart from that, a lot of offline events are happening across the country in our space labs, okay, which are spread over from Kanyakumari to, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So obviously, so a lot of things are happening today. And as you know, today is actually International Moon Observation Day, right? Observation night. Obviously, we cannot observe moon in the daytime. Okay. So it is called International Moon Observation Night. And in this night, we have a lot of things. Okay. So we call this not fantabulous night, but moontabulous night. Okay. So moontastic night. Okay. So definitely we are going to have a lot of things in our plate tonight. And so obviously our experts are ready. Ashish, over to you and take us through the journey of moon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction and warm welcome. Hello, everyone. A big high five to dreamers and explorers out there. I hope you are having a great day and had a wonderful week. So we are back again with same passion, same energy to ignite your curiosity and explore this universe all together. So today, as we gather from different corners of the world, so we might be separated by pixels, but again, we are united with same passion, and that passion is passion for space. So I welcome all of you to celebrate this grand event. So get ready to ride on a tidal wave as we prepare ourselves for the journey to the moon. Okay, so let me begin the session by just sharing my screen. So we are going to take a lift off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Praveen, can you please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Perfectly. Thank you. So as Praveen has said, International Observe the Moon Night. So we are going to have this moontastic night. So we might have heard about different days like Father's Day, Children's Day, Teacher's Day, right? This International Observe the Moon Night, many of you might be wondering, what are we going to do today? Why this night we are celebrating and what is it all about? So let me just give you a quick overview. So in this vast fabric of cosmos, in this whole universe, moon is a delicate thread. It's a delicate object that connects Earth to the mysteries of space. It holds many mysteries and it has many answers that we have been searching for antiquity. Okay, so just like I was saying, we celebrate different days such as Teacher's Day. Why do we have Teacher's Day? Because we want to acknowledge their effort. We want to notice their dedication towards changing the future of the country. Now, similarly, this particular night, International Observe the Moon Night, is celebrated worldwide to understand the importance and significance of the moon. Right? Maybe, we just see the moon in the night sky. Sometimes it's half, sometimes it's full, sometimes there is no moon in the sky. But we don't actually know, or we don't actually get to explore what moon has been such a guide to us. Okay, so in today's session, first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit brief about the importance of the moon, how the moon was formed, and so on. And at the end, I'm going to take you on a breathtaking journey directly to the moon through my telescope. So I hope you all are ready. Let's go. Satellite. Yes, natural satellite. We generally hear about, a satellite which is something in space and revolving around some other body. So, well, that's true. Moon is nothing but our natural satellite. It's a so faithful companion which have been with us not for 1 or 2 or 100 or 1,000 years. It has been with us for about 4.5 billion years. So you can imagine how faithful the moon is and how much the moon might have affected, in making the Earth or in shaping the Earth the way it is right now. Okay, so yes, it is a one and only companion to the Earth. Okay, and moon it might be small in size, it's a small in size, in comparison to Earth, but it plays a very vital role, a very important role in shaping our different domains here on Earth. We'll talk about them in a while. But before them, let me just give you an overview. Why moon? We have stars, we have galaxies, and so on. What is the importance of the moon being there in empty space? Well, today, we have technology. Today, we have so many things to explore and to be on this planet and to engage ourselves. But back then, now what I mean by back then means I'm talking about 25 to 30,000 years when we all were struggling to light up the fire. When we all were struggling, what to eat, where to go. So we as a human being were actually fiddling with these basic fundamentals in those eras. Okay. Now imagine, just imagine with me that we all are early man and we are looking at the moon and so bright in the sky. we did not know basically whether it is a moon or not, but slowly when we had started understanding that maybe there is some pattern which the moon is following along with the things happening here on Earth. So we noticed some kind of interlinked or interconnection between Earth, moon, and things which are happening here on the ground. Okay, so moon have been fascinating us, moon have been baffling us, moon have been impressing us with its bright glow for since antiquity. So there is no end to that. So it has been a source of inspiration, it has been a source of exploration as well. Now this picture which I am showing you right now, it is a moon engraving. Imagine it is in 1500 BC. So things have taken different shapes since that time. Now you might ask, what's the importance of moon? Yes, we see the moon every day. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is rising, sometimes who cares about the moon? Well, this is the night where you will understand why the moon, why is moon so important. Now coming back to this picture which is there right now on the screen, almost 20,000 or 10,000 years back, like I said, when we were just walking on the planet, learning how to survive, learning how to move from one place to another, there was a one very major problem that we had to face, and the problem was to track the time. Okay, so now we have a GPS, right? So let's say we are a group of friends and families, and you have a birthday of your friend and they invites you. So what do they say? Oh, hey buddy, can you come down to my house and at this particular time, at this particular day? So yes, that's how we interact with each other in terms of hours, in terms of Monday, Tuesday, or in terms of dates. But back then there was no such concept. We had no idea that whether such kind of concept exists or not. So then what do? We figured out, we noticed that moon is it's following a cycle. It's following a cycle of 28 days, where after every 28 days the phase repeats itself. So if I say today is a full moon, then when I see the full moon next time, again after 28 days. So this pattern, this cycle we noticed, and we started engraving on rocks. So how those people used to communicate with each other in terms of days, they used to say that, okay, can you come down to my house maybe after 2 full moons? That means 2 months. Or maybe you can come down to my house after 3 new moons. Again, that's 3 months. So that is how they started communicating with each other. So you see, moon has been basically a calendar. Okay, so yes, and even now also there are many calendars which are based on the moon itself. So yes, it has been a source of fascination, it has been a source of inspiration since then, and we have not stopped thinking about it, we have not stopped exploring about it, and hopefully we reach the moon again in the next coming hours. Now yes, there was a time when we had no technology, no telescopes, nothing. But when the Galileo came into the picture around 400 years back, we used to think that everything's so smooth. There are no ups and downs in space, there are no mountains, there are no valleys, no such rugged terrains in space. Everything is flat and smooth. But the day when Galileo looked at the moon through his telescope, he actually changed the course of astronomy and modern science. And that is why we refer him as a father of modern astronomy. So, but yes, telescope was invented before Galileo itself, but Galileo became famous personality because of his one activity. And that activity is, he just took a telescope and pointed at the moon. That's all. Because before that, that particular instrument was used in military, in a military domain, as a spying device, and so on. Nobody had thought that this can be used even to explore the universe itself. Nobody knew about it. But when Galileo thought about it, he experimented, and what he noticed some of the very intriguing features on the moon. So on the right side, if you see the image, he has actually drawn the phases. He has actually drawn what he saw with his own eyes. So this is the very original sketch made by none other than Galileo Galilei itself. So you can think that his eyes are the very first eyes to look into space through telescope. Okay. Now today you all are going to be the same, because we are here to give you that kind of experience which Galileo Galilei had seen at that era. Okay. So yes, since then we launched many things. We launched many spacecrafts, many rockets, many astronauts have been on the moon. So there is no stoppage, there is no end of the space exploration or science in general, right? Okay. Now yes, coming back further in time, if I talk about 1950s, 1960s, when there was this kind of space war, a cold war was happening between US and USSR, Russia as of now. So there was this competition that who will go to space, who will launch first into space, who will launch first thing into space, who will send first astronaut to space. So there was this competition was going on. So initially, when we were exploring the moon during 1950s, it was not of a scientific interest. It was more of a political interest, more of exploratory interest, that let's grab the space, let's grab the moon, let's mark our footprints on the moon. So this is what was going on in that time. But thankful to that, even though it was not of a scientific interest, but it played a major role in shaping the technology that we have right now. Okay, let me give you just brief example. We all have a laptop right now, isn't it? We all are, many of you might have joined through a laptop or a mobile. So do you know where this device actually came from? What is the origin of the laptop, or what is the origin of this communication part? It all began with the moon's exploration. Okay, when we sent Apollo astronauts to space, we had the need of building building some machine that can compute some calculation, and that is how the computer was invented. Okay, now coming to this picture, which is there right now, you might be thinking, okay, we see the moon from here on Earth, from different locations, from different places. How about how the Earth would look like if I go to the moon? Or what about the very first picture which was taken of the Earth, but not from here, obviously, but being on the moon itself? So you can say that when we sent the first satellite, around the moon, that was the first time we discovered the Earth itself. Because we are living on the Earth, right? We cannot see the whole picture of Earth. We cannot, it's like I'm living in my home and I want to know how my house would look like without going outside. So we did not know how the Earth, looks like. We did not have the complete picture of it. So that was the very first time when we discovered the Earth itself, when we sent the very first satellite to the moon. So the picture that you're seeing here right now, it's the first picture taken by Lunar Orbiter 1, and that was from NASA mission. But it is not the first, it is not the first spacecraft to reach the moon. The first spacecraft to reach the moon was Lunar 1. Okay, though yes, it has, it reached the moon almost. It did not reach too close to the moon, but it was the very first successful experiment, very first successful spacecraft that that was sent to the moon and had a kind of success for its mission. So since then, we have sent many rovers, we have sent many cars in general, we have sent many landers, and recently many of you might have seen the Chandrayaan 3 this spacecraft, right? And voila, it has landed on the moon, and finally India is on the moon, and we are ready to explore it further. Okay, so yes, moon have been fascination, moon have been a source of fascination. This is the source, this is the origin where our curiosity just boomed, because after that only most of the scientific instruments, most of the scientific invention, most of the scientific discoveries have been made. So a big thanks to the moon being there and being a source of inspiration for all of the humanity. Okay, but yes, how it is formed? See, we generally, this is our curiosity in our mind. This is the basically fundamental glitch in our mind that we always think about. think about the origin of everything, how this thing formed, how that thing, formed, how we were born, how, where did we came from. So these are the small, but very important questions that keep on boggling our mind. And one of the such question is that, how was the moon formed? This has been a question, this has been an open question for all of us for a very long time. And even now as well, we don't have the 100% solid proof of what actually had happened. But yes, we have a very strong theory. We have a very strong, theory that is obviously stood with the evidences that we have right now. But the theory says that there was the Earth, right? 4.5 billion years ago, not now, 4.5 billion years ago, there was this Earth, hot, lifeless, full of volcanoes, maybe waterless as well, full of volcanoes everywhere, lava was flowing here and there. It's kind of angry Earth that you can call it. Now, all of a sudden, what happened? One small planet, smaller than Earth, around the size of Mars. So one small planet named Theia, it came closer. It's kind of like, a rogue planet, because, this is the space, the solar system where we are currently staying right now. It's peaceful. It's not, it is not much, nothing much is happening in case of big, events. But those times, the solar system was very much unstable. So there were a lot of loose rocks. So what happened? This particular Theia planet headed towards the Earth and hit on his head. It did not hit on, on sideways. It hit on his head, on the head of the Earth itself. So then what happened? The Earth took a tilt. And since the Theia was a small planet, it got fragmented into different pieces, into many pieces, basically. Okay. Now, you might be wondering what happened to those pieces. What happened to Theia? What happened to Earth? Did Earth got hurt? Yes, obviously Earth also got hurt. It has got some scars, but eventually they got healed. But what happened to the fragments that were spread out, that were spewed out of this event? So these small chunks that were spreaded got together by gravity and formed a particular object, formed a solid object that we see right now, and that is nothing but the moon itself. So yes, it all happened 4.5 billion years ago. So imagine if you want to celebrate a birthday of a moon. We don't know the date. We don't know the date of the, date of its birthday. But if you want to know the birthday, that when it might have got born, you can think that the moon has born 4.5 billion years ago. It's pretty old. It's older than any of us living here on this planet. Any of the creature that is there right now on this planet. So it's what a wonderful object, right? It has been with us since the Earth itself was born. So lovely, such a beautiful, such a beautiful object. Now, okay, it's there, it looks nice, it's beautiful. But what about its significance in life? Does it affect our life? Or if it is affecting, how is it affecting? Well, let me just give you one sentence. If moon might not have been there, maybe we would not have been existed itself. And why? Let me give you a brief example for that. So you know that sometimes the moon comes closer to the Earth and sometimes it goes farther. Now what happens during this movement? The tides, right? We get the low tides, we get the high tides. Now, if there is a high tide, then what would happen? The flow of the water will be very turbulent, right? Now, with that turbulence, with that much flow of water, what will happen? The cold air beneath the ocean will mix up with the warm water, or the cold water beneath the ocean will mix up with the warm water on the surface of the ocean. And this will create such an environment that will actually establish your climate. Okay. So yes, the climate that we have right now here on the Earth is nothing but a gift given by the moon itself. Now imagine if moon might not have been there, climate, there would have been a zero, there would have been a nil climate, or you can say a dried climate, or such a place where the life might not have been possible. Okay. Now, yes, it had, it had a very strong. Just a minute. Yeah. So yes, it had a very strong, impact on shaping the Earth's climate, on shaping the weather system. Now, apart from that, it has also been in the sync. It has also been in a harmony with the life. There are many animals who follow the lunar cycle, who follow the way moon is rising, the way moon is waning and waxing, the way moon is increasing its brightness or decreasing its brightness. There are many animals, there are many nocturnal animals that follow this cycle. So there is so much on this planet Earth that is actually depending on the moon itself. So that is why we are here to learn about it, to appreciate its presence, and to explore it, because it holds many answers. It holds many answers to various fundamental questions. Okay, now there is one more. There is this wonderful thing that when you look at the Earth, we see different colors, right? We see blue colors, which represents water, we see white color, white regions, we figure them out as a clouds. We see gray color, brown regions, we figure them out as a terrestrial regions or land or forest. Green color represents land or forest, right? Correct. Now, when you look at the moon, maybe, most of the time we notice that it is white in color because it shines very bright, right? But if you notice it clearly, or if you look at it properly, and that's what we will be doing it today as well. But when you look at it in general, it has shades of gray and white. It is not white in color properly. It has shades. Some regions are gray in color, some regions are white in color, some are bright patches. So many things are there on the moon, which we will be showing you tonight live through my telescope. Okay. Now, coming to how a moon looks like. So yes, when you just as this image is showing you over here, it has got these dark areas, right? Dark patches. Okay. You can call them as a brush or something like that. But let me just tell you one thing. Previously, when we had a very little knowledge of the moon, we as a human being, we humans, we used to think that there are these black patches are nothing but, the oceans, the seas on the moon. We used to think that there are a black sea on the moon. And that is how it got named. That is how it got its name called Mare or Mare or Maria in plural. So these black patches, do you think that it is a ocean? Do you think it is there is a water flowing on the moon? Of course not, right? Yes, I mean, water is there. We as an Indian, we have, ISRO has found the water on the moon, but in ice crystals. But we don't find oceans. We don't find gallons and billions of gallons of water, on the moon, right? No, what are these? If they are not the oceans, if they are not the seas? Well, they are nothing but the dried lava regions. Okay. Now, what do I mean by dried lava? Yes, just like here on the Earth, we have hundreds and thousands of volcanoes, right? So initially, in the beginning, when the moon was actually forming, its surface was very much hot, very much hot. It was molten surface. Okay. Now, because of the the bombardments, because of the geological activity on the moon, these lava or these magma, hot material, spewed out of its surface, and it started flowing down the hill in those areas which are lower in altitude. And now you imagine when the lava, which looks red in color when it is hot, right? But when it cools down after a certain period of time, what color does it turns to? It turns into gray color, right? So yes, that is the dried lava which is there right now on the moon. So if you go there, or if you just scoop out of that material, you can see that this particular lava is basically 4.5 billion year old, which is still there right now on the moon. Okay. So these are the dark regions, and I'll give you one small hint here. There are certain areas in this region itself where astronauts have landed. So we all know who was the first person to land on the moon. Neil Armstrong, right? Along with along with its crew members, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins. These three people, went to the moon, but only two of them landed. Well, that I will leave it to you to figure out who actually landed, who landed second time. But yes, two people in that mission have landed, and one of them was Neil Armstrong. Okay, so do you want to see where actually Neil Armstrong landed? Do you want to see that particular area? Well, I'm so excited to show you that particular place, and along with that, I will also show you other places, other areas, other regions where humans have sent astronauts and it's different missions. Okay, so I hope you all are excited as I am, and let me take this journey even further by showing you a few more features, and then we will begin the live telescope observation. Okay, highlands. Yes, we talked about gray areas. What about white areas? Well, these white areas are nothing but called as a highlands. Okay, now what do I mean by highlands? Highlands means those regions which are high. That's all. Which are little higher in altitude than your mare regions or Mare regions. Well, so highlands are these are light regions which are little higher in altitude. Okay. Okay, what else do we find on the moon? We don't find trees, right? Okay, so yes, we don't find trees and all, but yes, now there are various features which needs our eye, which needs our constant attention, because these are the areas which holds the answers of our questions. Okay, and one such of the area is the crater. Okay, these I will call as moon cavities. Okay, so so initially moon was a little flat, or you can say it was smooth, or not many these potholes were there. But when the moon was evolving during its formation stage, there was so much debris around, so much loose rock, so many small asteroids that you call, or meteoroids that you call. They starts bombarding the moon itself, bombarding its surface. Now imagine there is a smooth soil around you, and you throwing a stone with a speed. It will create that dig, right? It will create that cavity on the soil, and that's what happened on the moon. Now we have countless number of craters. Okay, there are countless number of craters, and what if I tell you that by observing the moon, you can become a discoverer as well? You can actually discover something by just looking at the moon. Now you might be wondering, how is it possible, or how do I do that? Well, just hold on a bit with me and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, majestic peaks, mountains. Well, we have many mountains here on the earth, right? And one such famous one is Himalaya. Do you think that we can find such mountains on the moon as well? Well, yes. Not icy mountains. We don't find snowfall over there. But yes, we can find mountains on the moon as well. Okay, now that also I will show you how these mountain ranges looks like. Okay, so just just stay tuned with me and we'll all explore all of these. Okay, now you know that when you throw a stone on a soil, on a loose soil, what would happen? It will eject some of its material around it, right? Well, imagine there is a big mountain, okay, or a big asteroid. I'm just calling it as a mountain. Imagine there is a big mountain of 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer wide, and it is traveling with the speed more than what bullet travels with. It is traveling with so much speed, and then it is hitting the moon surface. So obviously what would happen? First of all, it will create craters, right? And as it create the craters, its material, whatever it was there in that region, it will splash around it. Now those regions we call as, or those features or those areas we call as rays. Okay, we cannot see all of this. Now you might be wondering, when I look at the moon, I don't see all of this. I don't see craters. I don't see mountains. I don't see rays. Well, yes. So to observe all of these, you need an instrument, and that is nothing but the telescope itself. So we will all explore all of this. Okay. Now coming to the next feature, next interesting feature that is to observe is riles. So you might have heard about Grand Canyon, right? Or valleys, if not valleys for sure, right? Yeah. So we have this valley, we have that valley in different regions, different mountain regions. So similar to that, we have valleys even on the moon as well. Okay, now you might be wondering how the valley formed on the moon. Well, that is something to discover about, right? Because these valleys also holds the answers how the lava flowed on its surface. Okay, how these basins, these basaltic basins or mare regions formed, and so on and so on. So rille is basically a channel. Now you might be wondering how wide this channel is, how long this channel is. So you see here in the image, you are seeing this long channel, right? This long kind of a strip. Well, it is not a strip on the moon, it is a valley. Can you guess? If you can guess okay, I'll just give you a small activity. Just guess the length of this rille, of this strip, and comment down below. Okay, I'll just give you 5 seconds. Okay, you can 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but you can note it down. You can comment later on as well. But let me just give you an idea. It's a very, very, very long one. Okay, it's a very long rille. It's about maybe 120 kilometers. It's that wide this rille is. And can you guess how wide this valley is? You know, it can be as wide as 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers. It is that wide this valley is. So in image, it might look like a strip on the moon, but it is actually a huge, a very a grand feature. Okay, taking our journey ahead, I was talking to you that can we discover something while looking at the moon itself? Well, yes, many of people like you and me, many of us have actually discovered things on the moon. And what are those things? As I said, right now the space is pretty much calm, pretty much normal. Well, that is partially true basically, because there are still small rocks, small asteroid which keep on hitting the moon. Okay, and when we look at the moon from here through the telescope, what do you see? You see a flash. As it is hitting the moon, you see a little flash happening on the moon. And if you see a flash, let me know, or let us know, which area do you see flash. You can maybe draw the region and point that I have seen a flash in this region. I have seen a flash in this particular crater. So just have your eye on this, and we will explore this all together. So get ready to witness this lunar magic. We are about to launch our rockets onto the moon and have this observation with telescope revealing this celestial beauty of the night sky. So I hope you all are ready. So this is where I hope you have learned a little bit about the moon, why it is important, what kind of features does it carry. So get ready to observe the moon through telescope.
Okay, thank you, Ashish sir. Now all of us are actually getting very much impatient. Okay, a lot of comments are getting that, sir, please show live view of the moon. Okay, we cannot wait more. So Ashish sir, I hope you are going to be showing the live moon very, very soon. Yes?
Yes, sir, very soon.
Okay, for all, for your information, the image, the footage that you see in the background, it is actually not an image. It's not a photo which is taken. It is a live view that I'm getting from a telescope, by the way. Okay, you can see that. So here is a telescope which is tracking the moon, and here you can see the moon in the sky, right? And from where we are getting the live footage here. Yeah, this is okay, but it is not so great, isn't it? Now wait for a minute. Ashish sir is going to show very deep craters on the moon, like you learned, right? Very deep valleys on the moon. and also rills, rays, and many other features that that you can see in detail, and that will take you through the journey of time. So are you ready for a time machine journey right now? Okay, imagine like moon is like a time machine which will take us through the history of the moon formation since last 4.5 billion years, right? So I hope Ashish sir is getting ready soon. Okay, so meanwhile, let us get footage from other regions. Hi, Priyadarshan from Coimbatore. Hi, people from Delhi. Can you tell us what is going on there? Everyone? Yes? Okay, so you can unmute yourself.
Hello, hi Praveen sir, how are you?
Great. So can you tell us, any of the students, can they share something, what they have seen so far?
Yeah, I'll call somebody. Devansh, can you tell us what you have seen so far?
The moon, whole moon with now with
9 mm lens.
9 mm lens, where we can see the moon's crater and the mountains on the moon.
Okay, so
that's
like
great.
we are now using the 9 mm lens to look at the moon. So earlier we were using 25 mm lens.
Okay, that's great. So how much magnification you are getting with that?
So we are able to see the craters very clearly. Like the students were so amazed that they are seeing the moon like this for the very first time in their lives. There are certain,
Okay,
so
that's
a
great.
lot of students have left because apparently it's getting very late. So only a few students are there now, and they wanted to see the moon magnified, and they wanted to get a closer look to the moon. So yeah, they are staying back. So yeah,
Okay.
a few of them are there. Ashita
Okay,
sir
that's
is
great.
also there, and they are very fascinated to see the movement of the moon. Right.
Okay.
So they saw the moon moving for the very first time. So like we are observing the moon
Yeah.
from 6 p.m. So they never really saw it moving, and the rotation of the earth and the movement of the moon. So
Yeah,
the
that's
first time
evidence, right? We don't have to wait for long period. Basically, if you look through the telescope, the magnified moon will actually move slowly, isn't it? That means
yeah.
the rotation
That's
of
what
the earth
that.
is also getting magnified. That's
Yeah.
great.
So they saw it for the very first time, and they are so amazed by it. So there are some small kids also, and there
Okay.
are from classes 9,
Yeah,
10,
the
10.
age doesn't matter, right? So everybody can
Yeah.
enjoy this moment. That's great.
Yes, sir.
So how about Priyadarshan? Priyadarshan from Coimbatore. What is going on there? Hello, Darshan from Coimbatore. Let's look at the space lab from Coimbatore. Okay, a lot of people are waiting there to observe the moon, obviously. Hello, Darshan, can you hear us? Yes? Okay. Hello, everyone from Coimbatore. Can you share something what you're seeing actually?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, Ashish sir is back. That means he is coming with the good news. Okay.
Yes, so I have got a good news for you. Just be ready. And let me share my screen once again.
Wow, that is what the live view is about. Okay, that's great. Superb. So is it coming live from the telescope, sir? Can you show us?
Yes, sir. It is actually coming live. Let me just show you in a minute.
Can you show your setup also? Like what
Yes.
kind of?
So this is how my setup looks like. I have a telescope and connected a camera. That camera is getting a power, and again I'm connecting the camera to my to my system. Now this telescope is the main powerhouse. This is where your entire moonlight is coming, entering into it, and transferring all the moonlight to my camera, where my sensor is recording it and capturing and sending it to all of you. So this is how the process is going on.
That's great, sir. So in the comment also we are getting some requests that, sir, can you show us the Shiva Shakti point, Chandrayaan 3 landing site? Okay, so we are all excited to see all of these
just
things.
hold on a minute. I'm going to show you everything. So
yeah,
yes.
even the elders are behaving like kids here. Okay.
Okay, I just love that enthusiasm. I just love that energy. Okay, how many of you would like to see the moon in more zoomed way, or shall we go to the moon even closer? Let's do that. Okay, be ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow, we have gone so far to the moon. Okay, it seems like we have actually reached around the orbit of the moon.
It's like
Chandrayaan 2
flying
or
above the
Chandrayaan 3
moon.
might be looking at the moon like this. Great.
Oh my God, so many craters. Look at these. Wow. Wow. See, I was talking about the black patches and the craters and the rays, right? I'll just show you that in a minute. So can you see? With the naked eyes, you don't see many of such features, right? Only just black and white patches, and that's all. But when you zoom in, when you actually magnify it, when you actually resolve it through the telescope, you have the open window for the exploration for your observation. Okay, let us zoom and let us also see few interesting features. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let us have a look at the crater itself. Okay. Now, how the crater does it look like? Okay. Do you see craters here? Oh wow. Look at these craters. Do you know how big these craters are? These craters are so big that you can actually fit your entire city in it. It is that big. It is not just a small hole or just a small pothole. No, it's huge. Aha, okay. Shall we have a look even more closer? Just a minute. Let's do that as well. Wow. Let's look at these small details. Wow. Okay. Let me zoom it back. Okay. So do you want to see a place first? Let's see a place. Let's see the region where Neil Armstrong actually landed. Okay. But I don't want to leave you, blank. So for that, I have an image that we'll try to compare that area with the real view. Okay. So let's just be ready for that. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So there we go. Let's try to see first where Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong actually landed. So you see this figure, these three figures, and on the left window, do you see this figure, this figure, this figure? So Apollo 11 landed in this particular region. See, in this particular region. So let me show you that region in the real time. Okay. Yep. So when you see the moon, let me also rotate it so that you follow the same pattern. It somewhat looks like, right? Somewhat looks the same. So the left one is the real-time view. Okay, it's the live observation, and the right time and the right image is basically a photograph. Okay, so just look at this particular region. This is where your Apollo 11 landed. Okay, just zoom it out again. Observe it carefully on this particular region. Okay, this particular region. So imagine these as a crab. This one and this one. Similarly, you can imagine here as well. This one and this one. So this is where it actually landed. So let me just zoom into that particular region and see where does it actually landed. Okay. So for that, I'll go this. Okay.
Wow, so we are all ready to land on the Apollo 11 site, and we are all going to be Neil Armstrongs for today.
This is the place where they actually landed. Let me also just try to zoom it a little more. Okay. This is the landing site of Apollo 11. Okay.
So as you can see, moon is drifting away because of the rotation of the Earth. So probably if you can stop the rotation of the Earth, moon won't drift away, right? Any Supermans here who can actually stop the rotation of the Earth? Well, and now we are going to explore more features.
Okay, so do you want to see mountain on a moon? Well, see, let me just show you directly. Actually, just a minute. Okay, let me zoom on the mountains of the moon itself. Wow. Just look at this region. See, these are the peaks. You see this range, this particular range, it has many peaks. And if you observe it carefully, as the sunlight is entering from this side, it is creating the shadow of the peaks, shadow of these mountains. Just look at it. Let me just also just try to show you a bit more. Okay, I hope now Praveen sir, can they see the, is it visible?
Yeah, it's very clear. We can see the shadows of these mountains.
You see, these are the shadows, and the shadow is in the shape of cone, right? That means the object has to be like this.
It's like our shadows during the sunset and sunrise.
Exactly. Wow, this is brilliant.
So you know what? Scientists actually predict the height of the mountains by just looking at those shadows and the angle of sunlight. How cool is that, right? So if you know a little bit of math and physics, we can find the height of the mountain sitting here on the earth without taking a tape and measuring on the moon, right? That's the very, very amazing thing about the science.
Let me give you them even a more zoomed view. Just hold on a minute. Okay, there you go. I hope it is much clear now.
Yes, wow. You're almost like 10-20 kilometers above the surface.
Oh, you're actually flying over the moon. Wow. Damn, just look at those sharp edges, sharp shadows. Wow.
And it is revealing the craters which are, in the night side of the moon itself.
Yes.
So that means the craters are having a lot of height there.
These are
Those craters might be like 50 to 60 kilometers in width, right? Diameter.
Yes, exactly. They are like 50 to 100 kilometer wide and almost 8 to 10 kilometer depth. Imagine the depth is more than the height of Mount Everest. Wow.
I guess we can see the valleys there.
Yes, exactly. This is the valley I was talking about. You see this particular feature? This is the valley on the moon. And the width is almost around 15 kilometer and the length would be somewhere around 100 to 120 kilometer.
Imagine filling the water in that turning into a long lake and having a boat ride in the future. So maybe one day it will be possible, obviously.
One more valley I would like to show you. One more Ryle. Remember I was telling about Ryle? Just look at this particular one. See, kind of snake feature.
Yeah, so that means actually moon is a bit active. It got moonquakes like earthquakes here on the earth. And there are certain faults that we see on the moon that creates these kind of features. Very interesting.
Now, I am just about to show you of one of the wonderful effect. Okay, that effect we call it as clear obscure effect. Okay, now what do I mean by clear obscure effect? Clear obscure effect is such an effect that it gives you an illusion of something which is not there on the moon, but it looks like it is there. Okay, and that is happening because the way the sunlight falls, the angle at which the sunlight falls on the moon, and the angle at which we see from. So the one of such effect that I'm going to show you is that there is a V on the moon. Okay, there is a V. Can everybody spot this particular feature? This one. Let me just bring it up again once a minute.
So we are getting a lot of requests actually to show the landing site of Chandrayaan 3, by the way.
Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Just a minute. Okay, let me just show you that particular feature. Okay, yep. I think now you can see. See, this is the V, which it is a V. It's a basically it looks like a V, which forms when the sunlight angles falls at such from such a particular direction. Okay, now coming back to our one and only point, Shakti point, Chandrayaan 3, where Chandrayaan 3 which where it landed. Let's go to the Chandrayaan 3 now. Maybe, who knows, we can find it, whether it is there. Yeah. So I was just joking. Yes, obviously it is there, but let's see. Can you see it? But let's look at the area where the Chandrayaan 3 actually landed. Okay. Let's go. This is the South Pole. Now we are heading towards the South Pole. Okay. This is where somewhere it actually landed. I hope I'm right, Praveen sir.
Yeah, it's a little bit up, that side. You can see the 3 craters, right? Side to side.
This one?
And no, left side.
Okay. Even the left, this one?
Yeah, that area.
Oh, wow. Lovely. Let me zoom in a little more.
So the sun has risen couple of days ago in the region where Chandrayaan 3 landed. And our scientists were trying to wake up the rover as well as lander since last 1 month. And I guess the rover and lander got a lot of, they felt a lot of drop in temperature during the lunar night, maybe -150, -200.
Yeah.
And that might have actually damaged the electronics on board. But still they are there, obviously. They are on the surface and they're permanent objects for millions and billions of years to come. And this is a side view of that site. Obviously, we don't have a direct above view. That is only possible when we have an orbiter around the moon, right? So this is the side view of that landing site.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the region you can see. So it's not exactly at South Pole. It is around 65 degrees or so south and around 32 degrees east of the moon.
Okay. So what else we have seen? We have seen Mare. Mare is nothing but, these black patches. See, just look at these black patches.
People are asking, sir, can we see the dark side of the moon?
I wish I had a rocket right now and would have taken you to the other side of the moon. But unfortunately, maybe one of you might design, one of you, have your own rocket and go to the other side of the moon. But don't forget to take us also. We would also love to see the other far side of the moon. We see only one side of the moon because of its wonderful dance between the rotation rate and the way its revolution rate. So that's for, let's take it for the another chapter. But yes, we see only one side of the moon. But again, one side of the moon is enough for enough for us to curious the next generation.
So Ashish, we are seeing some craters inside the craters. So what that actually means?
Okay, so first let me show that. So yes, see, it's just like you have made a big dig or a big pothole, and then what you do, you throw again small rocks. So within a crater, you will find you will form small craters, right? Those small crater we call as craterlets, not cutlets, craterlets. Okay, just let me try to see where these small craters are hiding within the crater itself. Let's see. Oh, yes, we have got it. We have got you. Just look at here. So if you see this particular crater, this one, in this, there is again a little crater. In this, again, we have a small crater. Let's try to find out if other craters also have such features. Okay. Well, there you go. We have found one, a nice one. See, this is a big crater, right? And which also called as a Posidonius, I guess. So this is particular, just a minute. Yeah. So inside this big crater, you have this small crater as well, right? You see, those are called as basically craterlets. Small craters are formed within the crater itself. So it's basically when the huge, big rocks fallen on the moon, and when the big rocks vanished, when all the big rocks got, got emptied, then what we were left with just small rocks and particles. And that's what started bombarding again on the moon. And now we have the small craters as well within the crater. Okay, let me just go back a little bit. Let me show you one more landing site. Okay, where
So the crater inside the crater means the crater that you see inside is actually the new crater, the fresh crater. The crater which was on the back, the big crater, is actually the old one. So that is kind of taking us through the journey of time, right? What kind of impacts, what kind of scars the moon had in the history.
Okay, yeah, there it is. There it is. Just below these two. Fine. Let's go and see one more landing site. Which, can you guess which mission might have landed on that particular site? Is it an Apollo mission or some other? Well, yes, it is Apollo 15. Okay, so let me just show you that site in a minute. You see this particular region, this is where your Apollo 15 astronauts landed. So this is the landing site of Apollo 15 mission. Let me just increase the brightness. Oh, wow. This is exactly where they have landed, this place. So sun, you imagine if you were there on that particular region right now, you might be seeing sunrise. Okay. I was talking about ejecta. Remember, I was talking about the rays when the craters formation happens, or when the asteroid hits on the moon's surface. Many ejecta, it is spewed around its region. So let's have a look. Let's see, can we find those ejectas, those rays? Okay. Okay, let's try and figure out. It's like, we are hunting on the moon. Okay. Oh, wow, one bird just flew away. Oh, nice. So just a minute. See, just look at this. these regions. So see this, it's like a tail. Okay. So this is what happens when you throw big asteroids with a huge speed. Material gets splashed out. Okay, one more interesting feature that I would like to show you is there is a mountain. There is a small peak, you know, inside the crater itself. Did you notice? See, this is the small peak. Wait, I'll just zoom in a little more and let's see if we can. Okay, I hope now you might be able to see these. Just a minute, let the crater come. Okay, so if you see within this big crater, there's a small peak in between. How this peak would have formed? I'll leave that to you to research, like how the central peak, the scientific term for this is the central peak, how the central peak formation happens. It's very interesting. And now can you can you see a few more interesting feature over here that even two craters also can combine? Okay, or two crater can share a same boundary. Okay, so let me show you just that as well. Can you see these two craters? These are sharing the region, they're sharing the boundaries. We call them as a double craters. So like such, we have triple craters also. Well, there is no ending for exploration. You can look at the moon for years and years and still left with, still done with just 1% observation. Hey, let me show you just one more ejecta. I think that's pretty much interesting about it. Okay. Oh, yes. Do you see? As the crater has formed, it has spewed out its material. You see these white rays? Wow, wonderful. Wow, what a wonderful journey it was, right? It is like we were actually flying over the moon. This is the live view. This is the moon right now as it is. Let me just show you one more crater within crater. That's very interesting again. You see this big crater, and then again you have small crater. See, so if I zoom out and let me show you the day part and night part of the moon right now. So we all know that moon is round, isn't it? Moon is a sphere. But right now we are in almost close to the first quarter phase, or almost close to the 50% illumination of the moon. So rest of the moon, where is it? Has it gone somewhere else? Well, no, it is right here. It's right there. Okay, so this white, this illuminated part is the day part of the moon, and this dark part of the moon is nothing but where the night is happening. Okay.
Ashish, can we see that part right now?
I'm just trying to show that actually.
Even though it is shadowed part, but still some of the light reflected off the earth will reach that night side of the moon, basically. So with that, we can see some of the other side of the moon also.
So moon has a higher, you can say, not moon, so earth has a very high albedo feature. Okay, if you see the earth from the moon, earth would look way more brighter than what moon looks like here from earth. So since earth has a very bright feature, earth has a it's very high reflective in nature. It reflects the sunlight and just illuminate the other part of the moon itself. So let's see if we can see that.
Wow, now we can see the other part of the moon. So moon is not growing and shrinking, it is actually round always. It's the only thing we cannot see the entire thing every time because of the moon's movement around the earth.
Wow, this is looking actually very nice. Lovely. Imagine you are seeing the dark side, the night part of the moon from the night part of the earth. Wow, lovely. It's crazy.
Yeah, everyone actually, you can take selfie with the moon. How is it possible? Basically, as you're joining on Zoom, you can actually take a snapshot, or you can take a screenshot of your mobile or laptop so that, it is like a selfie with the moon, right? So for the final time, Ashish, can you zoom in a little bit so that all of us can take the selfie with the moon?
Yes, let's do that.
So are you ready, everyone? So you can take a selfie with the moon by taking a screenshot. So probably you can switch on the camera one side. I don't know whether it is possible or not. Yes. So if you're not able to take a screenshot on the screen, you can also go outside and look at the moon and take the selfie with the moon.
So let's have a moon selfie. Oh, wow.
So, or else you can hold your mobile phone with you and somebody can take a photo of you along with the zoom view of the moon. Okay, so I hope all of you are ready to take the selfie with the moon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Peace for humanity. Okay, so I hope you all have enjoyed the session, and it was a wonderful journey to actually go to the moon, scroll around it, and we did discover, we did, hover on the moon, like just how an astronaut or how an orbiter moves around it. So today we all became an orbiter. Okay, so one small thing which I would like everyone, which I would like every one of you to do. Just a minute, I'll explain that minute. So those who have an access to pen and paper, you can actually draw the moon the way it is right now from our live view, and You can just see all these small craters. Whatever the details you are seeing, just draw it on pen and paper. Take it at, I mean, just take it as an activity and mention all the details. Mention, you know, this is this crater, this particular mayor is this particular, this is the diameter of this particular crater. So this is a kind of exploration that we all would love to see from you. So I'll just, you know, I'll just keep this live view for a couple of minutes. So those who have an access to pen and paper, you can just draw over it, or maybe you can take a screenshot as well and then mark on it with your any editing software, any Photoshop or something like that. Okay. Okay, just zoom in a little more so that you guys get an access to a little more features. Okay, go ahead.
Someone is saying that, you know, if you take a selfie with the moon, it is called moonfie.
Oh, wonderful name. So take your pen and paper and start your journey and just draw whatever the features, whatever the details visible to you, and mark those features and you know, put it on our community so that, you know, we get to see all these beautiful results from all of you. Okay, so I hope you have drawn your, you have got your observations. I'm so excited that I can't stop myself to look at, to have a look at, you know, one more zoom view of the moon. So I'll just, you know, see that particular mountain again. So mesmerizing to see.
Yes, for the final time. The mighty mountains on the moon. And who would like to trek on the mountains of the moon? So maybe the moon tourism will start in, you know, next decade or so, and everybody will be having some adventure sports on the moon. Imagine that, you know, you're having adventure sports on the moon.
So then we will call them as a mountaineers. Wow, just look at those sharp shadows. Oh my God, wow.
So with that, we can see the shape of the mountain from the top. So Ajay is asking from the comments that when can we expect a human to visit moon? Already we had in 1960s and 1970s, but anyway, even Indians are going to land on the moon maybe within 10 years. We hope so. And as you know, today the Gaganyaan testing was successful, and kudos to ISRO for their efforts. And within 1 or 2 years, we see for the first time Indian going into space on Indian rocket. So maybe soon, once we go into the orbit of the Earth with Gaganyaan mission, and then we'll have maybe Moonyan mission, right? So Chandrayaan with human on it. Okay, Chandrayaan 4 or 5.
So, okay, I hope you all have enjoyed this wonderful journey. And thanks to everyone, each and every one of you, to dedicate your time and travel with us to space. So, I hope you have enjoyed, and see you for the next time. Stay tuned for such more webinar, for such more wonderful observations. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you, sir, for Moontastic session. Okay, on this very special day, International Observe the Moon Night. And thank you, audience, for your very interesting questions. By the way, a lot of questions are unanswered, by the way, but you have a chance to get the questions answered. So all you have to do is you have to go to our community. So visit our website. I'm going to show that right now. So go to navasedutech.com, and there you will see the community. Okay, on the home page, you can see the option community. So if you click on that particular link, it will take you to the community. You have to create your account. So once you create your account, you can see a lot of things coming on your way in the future, right? So a lot of webinars we are planning with experts and other astronauts as well as astronomers in the future. So you can also get your questions answered. You can post your photographs of the moon or the selfie of the moon here and let the engagement start. Okay, so obviously, so a lot of questions can be answered here. You can ask questions, you can answer others questions, obviously, and also you'll get notification on future webinars. So I hope you all enjoyed the session today, and wait, you cannot wait for more, obviously. So we'll again have few more sessions coming up. As you know, the next weekend is going to be the partial lunar eclipse, and it is in the midnight. Obviously, it is a bit tough to conduct the event, by the way, but if you want to see it, you can actually watch it from your home, right? And we are going to have very special photography session for lunar eclipse coming weekend, and we will keep you posted in the community. So please be alive, okay? Please be live on the community, and so that you will get lots and lots of communication there and lots of events posting there. Okay, so thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Have a clear skies and enjoy the moon observation. Thank you very much.